back on the threes, BT.
I love it, man. Fiesta time in the city.
What better time? We had Final Four right hot into Fiesta here.
I mean, one into the other, and then Fiesta falling where it did later than usual.
You've already been out amongst the constituents at Fiesta. You're out there live
So
last
opening
week. Yep.
Event, Fiesta. The name's so nice, they did it twice.
Of course.
It's at Travis Park, and they do the Pin Pandemonium, where we hand out all the medals, and all the nonprofits are out there. It's a blast.
You came back from, because I'm the house cat in here in the studio during Fiesta. It corralled me up after a Final Four.
We got to
week,
anchor you down.
Yeah, but you were out there. You told me a little fun. You had a little bit of an awkward encounter out there at Fiesta.
So
this
I'm
week.
walking. Mariana and I, our producer, we're in between live shots, and this woman who I've never seen in my life before comes up and says, "Hey, Bill Taylor. Hey, how are you?" She goes, "No, we dated a while back."
Oh no.
And I was like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "Yeah, you don't remember. It's okay." And I'm like, "No, I really don't remember at all."
Yeah. I just imagine her conversation. She's off to something like, "Oh my God, there's my ex." She's telling her friends like, "Oh my God, it's Bill Taylor.
He's here.
There's my ex. I'm just gonna go get it out of the way. I'm just gonna go address it."
Hey, how's it going,
So,
Bill? And she wasn't like that. I mean, it was like weird that she even said like,
It was a nice,
"It's okay that
friendly
you don't
ex.
remember." And she even said, "I've been married 30 years now, so it's okay." I'm like, I haven't even been here 30 years, almost
I've
29,
never even
but
met
I've been
you.
married the whole time. I mean, did not date this woman, and Mariana just started laughing, walking.
and you
off.
guys took a picture, and that
We
was-
did. We took a picture.
Right, yeah.
I was just hoping she didn't post and be
She
like,
was able to be like,
ran
"Hey,
into my ex.
we're still
Hashtag awkward.
We're still good friends." He was totally cool about it. Like he took a picture with me. Like it was. I thought that
We're
was
okay.
hilarious. Yeah. So you ran into your old flame, and nothing better than a Fiesta flame for you, BT. But
I should have had security. If I would have had security with me.
I got two guys that I think would be able to help you out if you need some.
Yeah?
Our next guest, I'm so fired up about this, man.
It's
They've
kind of
got-
why I brought the guns with me today.
Yeah, we can unpack that in a little bit, but you want to talk about security and strong dudes. Doesn't get much stronger
It does not.
than professional strongmen. Austin Andrade, Nick Guardione.
Yes.
Gentlemen, what's going on?
Yes, this
Welcome.
is awesome.
man.
Welcome to Rain and Threes.
Hey, thank you for having us.
We're raining fours today.
We got random fours.
right.
You guys were concerned that the couch wasn't going to be big enough for you guys. Remember? But we got
Honestly, no. We need to know the weight limit of all furniture that we interact with. It's just a
real
normal common.
concern.
It's
I
common
bet it
experience.
is. I bet it is.
And this is crunch time for you guys because you guys are going to be participating in the World's Strongest Man competition finals. 25 strongest dudes in the world. 2 weeks?
That's right. 2.5 weeks.
Where's this taking place?
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Okay. And you guys, how much more training? Where are we in training? You ready now or?
Yeah, so we got one more heavy day, or we're gonna finish off this week heavy lifting, and then next week we'll start tapering off, and then get ready for the show. Kind of just recover and relax going into those 4 days of brutal competition.
You
we got
said
coming up.
heavy day. What is heavy day? What would that entail?
Yeah, we're gonna get upwards of 90, 100% of whatever the comp weight is. So we're gonna be deadlifting 100 pounds pretty easily. That's a typical heavy day for us. So yeah, and then we're gonna do it for a lot of reps too. So just once or twice, we're gonna do a couple sets of that stuff.
So we got 10 events that we're going through over the course of 4 days. So we're going to be basically this week just running through all those events at comp weight, like basically just like a dress
through.
So
rehearsal.
I was just gonna say you're gonna simulate the competition in the
as much
gym.
as we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and it just gets our bodies ready to do that on game day. So we're gonna hit them this week. We'll rest for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then it's game time.
The world's strongest man. It's fascinating for me too because of the 25 strongest men, it doesn't get more official than the world's strongest man competition. Of the 25 in the world, 2 of them, you both, are at not only the same city but the same gym in the same city. San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're
that-
friends.
Yeah, and we're training partners.
Yeah. So how did you guys first become strongmen? Get into it. What was the passion behind it for you guys?
Yeah, so I started, I've been lifting weights since I was in middle school. Grew up playing sports and whatnot. And after college and football and wrestling was done for me, I needed that competitive outlet still. So I found getting back into the gym and chasing numbers. And then I found Heavy Metal Fitness, the gym that we go to. And,
Right here.
Yeah.
I was in there last night with you guys.
there it is.
Check that
Yeah,
out.
and our coach there, Tim Ingram, he had other strongman athletes there at the time, and they kind of just took me in and showed me the ropes in terms of competing in the sport at the amateur level, and I fell in love with it. And then I competed about a year by myself, with heavy metal, and then that's when this guy walked in a year later, and then that's kind of how we just started. He got introduced to the sport, and then we got him signed up for a show, and the next thing you know, we're doing the same shows. We're coming up through amateur ranks, and 6 years later, we're competing at Worlds.
Wow. And I mean, you have been so successful. Congratulations. Austin, you're the 4th strongest man in the world.
Right now, yeah.
That's incredible.
As of actually, that's last year's ranking. So, like going into this year, we're stronger, we're faster, more conditioned. So, I think we're both a little bit higher than where we were last year. So.
What's your guys' strongest event, best event?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a static guy, so like 2 feet in the ground, pick up something crazy heavy. I mean, if you're gonna put it to one lift, I would say deadlift.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm probably one of the best deadlifters in the world.
What's your max number on the deadlift?
Oh man, I couldn't give it. Well, I've deadlifted over 1,000 pounds before.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Wow. He got 1,040.
And
but like basically finished, but he fell back with it.
Yeah, I fell backwards at 10:36 in my
Just because
hands.
he slipped, not because he was weak.
Not because it was the weight.
You
lost your footing.
You saw it? You were there?
I was there.
He was the one that pulled the weight off my
I picked
hips.
the bar off of him.
Wow.
Yeah, so I should get points for
I mean,
that
you just
too.
letting
you
out
got
like are you letting out like a yell when you're doing that, or you just locked in?
No, you gotta be locked in. That
Yeah.
kind of weight, if you're yelling, you're gonna. That's when.
Yeah, that was 1,500 pounds laying on his tailbone.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So yelling and like when you hear dudes like yelling in the gym, like that's
Yeah, you don't want it because when you're yelling, you're
You're loose in the core.
You're
Oh,
your core.
okay.
So
That's why you can't do it at Planet Fitness. They don't allow it.
it's a
Yeah.
safety
They
thing.
don't. It's safety.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Smart.
but all right. So deadlift though, describe this now so I get it right. You start the barbell's on the floor
You just pick it up, you stand up.
and you stand up with it and it goes over your head.
No.
No,
This
you
is
just
straight to your hips.
Yeah,
straight to
you
your
just-
hips.
Yeah,
Your
your
arms are locked
arms
out.
are straight.
Okay. Okay.
And then
And you did 1,000 pounds of that.
yeah.
Isn't there like there haven't been many people who've obviously done that? I mean, you're not walking.
I don't know for sure, but I think he's like 14th or 17th in history to lift
For
that weight.
sure, I'm one. I've beaten the 20 mark. So for sure, 0.00001% of like the population that's ever done it.
Talk to me about injuries. Lifting this much weight, have you guys been, severely injured? You were talking earlier about tearing this muscle under your armpit.
Yeah. I mean, so lifting heavy weights like this, it's kind of inevitable that something's going to happen. Like the sport's really hard on your body. But the way we train and the way we prepare with recovery and nutrition in our training, that we really mitigate those kind of injuries. And then we're super smart with the way we lift. And like during a training session, we're keeping each other accountable through, even the main lifts and accessory lifts and even the small stuff. We're calling each other out. Hey, you got to do this right, because not only one, I want you to get better, but two, I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Right.
Because if he gets hurt, I'm out of training partner. Then I don't got that guy pushing me to be the best.
Yeah, and our coach Tim Ingram, he's been doing this his whole life. Not training strongman, but just training in general. And he's injured everything you can injure.
Yeah.
He's been through the ringer. He's done it all himself. So he puts a huge emphasis on recovery, prehab, rehab, just keeping us healthy. We never push so hard to where we're legitimately in danger in the gym. We save it all for competition day.
You never want a red line at the gym.
Yeah.
When people, I hit a new max at the gym. We're never doing that.
Is that
We're
right?
hitting a max at the competition.
See, that's interesting because remember we had April Ancira on, and she's done 13 Ironmans.
That's right.
And she said when you train, you never do the complete run, you never do the complete bike until it's competition day. So that sounds like a common denominator in these kind of competitions.
Yep.
You save it for the day.
Might as well. I mean, you don't want to waste it.
Right.
When no one's
Nobody
watching.
cares about a PR in the gym.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So what's that going to look like for you guys going into competition day? I mean, like, what are you doing every 24 hours leading up to competition day? What does that look like?
A lot of food and a
Yeah,
lot of
just
rest.
kind of relaxing. Yeah. Just try and stay, because it's a really stressful thing to have that expectation that you need to go out and perform and do this thing and be the best. So it's a lot of just staying calm, keeping the stress down, staying hydrated, eating, having a good time. Try not to get too in your head about stuff.
Tell me about the diet.
Yeah,
what
I
is
was gonna
eating?
say, man.
What does
I
that
mean,
look like for
you guys are like
breakfast, lunch, dinner?
How important is obviously, because sometimes maybe diet is more important than actually being in the gym.
right.
I
Yeah.
would assume.
To me, the diet is the full-time job of strongman. Because it's every 2 hours I'm eating another pound of food. So we work
Say
with
that again. Every 2 hours,
every
you eat
2
1 pound of
hours
food.
I'm eating a pound of meat with my carbs and my veggies and my fruits and stuff.
And the meat's raw, isn't it?
No, it's not raw.
So is you're eating like
There's
10
nothing
pounds of
special,
meat?
man. You got to cook the food.
Yeah, no, I'm playing. But that's incredible.
Yeah, so it's
dude.
95%
A pound
lean,
every 2
95% lean ground steak. It's chicken, it's fish, like clean fish.
High protein.
Yeah, high protein, clean protein, whole natural foods.
At this point, we're like real diesel engines. Like if you go put anything bad in you, you're gonna
feel
tear
it.
it up.
So
Right,
how many calories are you guys consuming on an average daily basis?
He's at something big. I'm around 5,000 right now, and then it'll fluctuate training days, non-training days, just to give us a little extra for that boost for training.
Yeah. He's trying to cut weight right now, so he's eating a little bit less than I am. I'm trying to gain weight.
Okay.
So I'm eating a little bit more than him. I'm probably at like 7,000 calories.
Speaking of gaining weight, one of you guys was like $1.50 at one point.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's you, Nick?
Yeah.
You were literally 150 pounds.
I was a cross country runner in high school.
This is like 10 years ago. This is 10 years ago?
Yep.
You were cross country and $1.50.
That's right.
Look, and now you are
350.
I tell this dude all the time is that we wouldn't have been friends back in the
So
day.
and I found like weightlifting in 2015. So it's been almost exactly a decade, and I put on 200 pounds.
Bro, what's the class reunion like?
It's crazy.
You see Nick? Dude.
It's funny. It's funny.
He's like two of them.
He ate the basketball team.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
Totally stacked.
But it's funny. I saw somebody from high school when I went to visit my family down in Houston, and I literally had to convince them that it was me. I had to like show them progress pictures from the last 10 years, and they're like, "Holy." Like that's incredible.
It's notarized, I promise.
Well, because I was always known as the skinny, like I was very tall and very skinny, and I didn't eat and I didn't want to lift weights. And it was just like a complete 180 turn in my life.
That first couple of years, like the ID picture is just completely different or something. Like you try
They
to go to the
wouldn't
bar
let
and be
me
like, no,
fly.
that's not. You'd be like, no, I promise, that's me.
swear to
Minus
knew.
160 pounds.
So you know how they have those AI like face scanners at the airport?
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
go through the
They
airport
wouldn't let 'em
security? I knew I was getting big when they wouldn't let me go on my flights.
Wow.
I
It
had to
wasn't
get the
recognizing the
manager.
face.
I had to start bringing my passport because they wouldn't let me go through to my flights because it was so different from my driver's license.
Incredible.
And then Nick, another thing that's real cool about you too is you're from Houston, went to UTSA,
That's right.
but you were telling me how you paid your own way through school,
Yeah.
and how the way you were able to do it was pretty insane. Well,
Yeah, so I started my own little business making knives, just blacksmithing stuff in my little apartment garage, and it got pretty successful. I was making jewelry, knives, furniture, just all kinds of stuff. And
Are you Amish? Or
were the
we gave it away.
Look at this work, man. That works
were the
incredible.
candle makers all busy in this one? I was like, this is sweet.
What's he doing up there? He's blacksmithing.
Yeah. So that was my first real passion, and it kind of fused into strongman when I got hurt doing it. I've gotten more injuries doing.
You got
blacksmithing.
hurt blacksmithing.
No. Talk about injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got more injuries doing blacksmithing than I've done in strongman.
He's got a good
That's
story for that.
wow.
Yeah.
And who taught
what
you to
happened?
blacksmith?
Yeah.
How'd
No,
you
but
learn?
just YouTube.
Wow, YouTube
Yeah.
University.
Yeah. So like I was never born to do a 9-to-5 job. I can't do repetitive tasks. I can't do other people telling me what to do. I knew I always was going to make my own business, and I wanted to like leave an impact on the world. And I thought the best way to do that was to make physical products myself and put them out. And it was like the perfect time in my life to be able to do that. So I was just always in my little garage, just making stuff that I found interesting, and I had an inspiration to make. And then I almost cut my hand off doing it.
Casually.
So if you want to do a deep dive back in my
blacksmithing.
Instagram,
Blacksmith problems.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
so if you want to do a deep dive in my Instagram, there's actually a video of it happening.
What,
So
like a
this
bandsaw?
the whole scar,
Yeah, no,
bandsaw. So this whole
A
scar,
bandsaw with the back of his hand.
the whole scar on the back of my hand right here, is where a bandsaw went in.
What? That's
and my whole hand.
Wow.
Yeah, and it
just-
cut
he was
every
manipulating
extensor
the wrong
tendon in the
piece of
back of my
material.
hand. I couldn't open my fingers at all.
Oh shit! It's amazing now you can grip and do what you're doing with
Yep.
strongman.
Yeah, it almost ruined both careers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
In one
do you still do it? Do you still do it at all? Do you
Not
still
really.
smith?
Not really. I have all the tools and
The
stuff.
art of
Still Smith.
blacksmithing? Yeah.
Still smithing around.
It's interesting.
Smithing around.
You're nasty.
It's interesting though because they've kind of fused together, like the blacksmithing and the strongman. They used to be separate because I didn't think the strongman would leave an impact on the world. But now that I kind of have a little bit of an influence and I can kind of talk to people and spread the word of like strength is for everybody, and it's such a healthy, beautiful thing that like that passion has kind of fused into the strongman side.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Austin, your story. Now, where'd you grow up, and what do you do outside the gym and competition?
So yeah, I was born here in San Antonio. My parents were split, so I lived part-time between here, Arizona, and San Antonio. So I went to school out in Arizona, and then I would be here for holidays and summers and stuff like that. So, but as soon as I graduated college, well, she was my fiance at the time, but I moved her down here. So I'm moving to San Antonio. You want to come? And she's, yeah, we'll go. So me and my wife live here now. We've been living here the last 10 years, like full time. I've never felt like I've left this place. But I've played sports my whole life. So like football and wrestling. I won a state title. I went to college. I did all that good stuff. And like I said, I've just found lifting and but I work for the appraisal district downtown for property tax. So I'm the guy that values your houses. Actually, I have a degree, and I use a degree to
And so when we contest our
Yeah, you're
appraisal
probably talking to
value,
me.
we're talking to
I like
Austin
that you
Andrade.
take it. Whatever your numbers are, I'll stay.
No, it was cool. Like before, it was in person, and I would always get like, "Oh, this guy's a big guy," intimidating factor. But now
Yeah.
it's all over the phone,
Okay.
and so like that gets taken out of it, and now I could actually like, we can talk about it, and the whole entire intimidation gets out of it. So
Takes
we can
that out of the
we can have
equation.
a good conversation about a property, without this guy's a big guy, he's got tattoos, he lifts weights. That's kind of a stigma we get put on. I think I'm a really nice guy, I'm not,
Right,
But,
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. There's got to be a gentle side to you. Like,
Well,
do
that's
you
what I'm
cry
saying. I
during
mean-
movies, like The Notebook? The Notebook catcher?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
I've never cried in my life.
Yeah, when he cut his hand, he did.
Yeah, he did.
No, I didn't.
No, not even then.
Prove it.
Prove it.
Prove it.
There's video of it.
I wasn't crying. I just said,
Yeah.
"Oh no." And you want to know the worst part about it?
It was on April
It was on
Fool's.
April Fool's Day. So I called him, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm not gonna be able to make training tomorrow."
I was like, haha, okay,
Ha-ha,
cool.
later.
And
And
I almost cut my hand off. He goes, "Yeah, good one."
wow.
Yeah,
I had to send him a
bro, I'm
picture.
like,
I had to
I'm
send him a
getting
picture of
dizzy,
my
I'm
hand
losing
like
blood.
this.
Yeah.
How about you? You cried during the Ralph Macchio over here, Karate Kid?
All right, look, when I found out that we were talking to these guys, I said,
Did you just?
I'm gonna
did
bring
you
the
just finish
guns
up
with
your
me.
shift?
I just said-
working the carny at the boardwalk over there. What's going on?
Those belts are glistening.
You
Aren't
look
they?
like somebody who still goes to his high school football games. And you're scouting the street fighter.
Hey,
You can't wait till October.
hey, swear to God, this dude bench 400 pounds in high school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
He's a guy.
I mean, the way the light is hitting, I really should have
fantastic.
spray tanned.
I'm kind of jealous.
In
to
Is
be
it
honest.
intimidating?
In the mix
kinda
for a
jealous.
summer job.
I didn't.
yeah.
I was
kinda-
hoping not
I
to
kinda want
intimidate.
my
Could you
Same
guys like
time.
rip off your sleeves? Like if you guys were able
If you
to,
want to
like,
join me,
Want it?
Rip
I'll
the
send you
sleeves
wanna
off.
join
real
me?
quick.
Oh, sorry,
real?
you actually
Okay.
can you
You want
actually
me standing
like
for
just
this? Or you
rip
sitting?
them?
Yeah, I gotta
Do
stand
one
up for it.
Okay, here we go.
Where's the angle? Hold on.
You got it?
We got the angles.
Are you guys actually just gonna straight rip
Just
it?
rip
Yeah,
it.
I'm strong enough.
We good?
No way.
Yes.
Next.
You want the other one?
Next side.
Here he goes.
No, you just gotta do one at a time.
Yes. Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
Feeling comfortable
That's
now?
spot
Okay.
on.
That's better.
You feeling comfortable
Now
now?
we're matching.
Right. We're matching.
Wow.
Look at
Look at that.
Took like 3 of mine.
You need to get into the creatine over there.
I mean, I do need to.
Yeah, the creatine or just some sunlight.
I had a smoothie, maybe some sunlight.
Like, go to the pool or
We could
something.
basically be twins.
Yeah,
Like,
go have
like
a
Arnold
smoothie.
Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
And Danny DeVito. I'm guessing I'm DeVito. Wow.
Honestly, DeVito's probably my favorite actor of all time.
Hey, speaking of
He's so
DeVito and Italiano Paisan,
Yeah.
first generation American.
That's right, yeah.
In Houston,
That's
Texas.
right, yep.
What a story. So,
Yeah, so my family, my grandfather, my father, they came over. They were living in Rome, and they came over in the mid-'70s and settled in Houston.
in Houston. Okay. Wow.
Yep.
That's
Horse
so
and
cool.
carriage and everything.
So the best
Back
Italian food
settled?
in Houston is going to...
You said
Actually,
settled.
that's a good question. Well, you guys, Italian food, man, because also like a chicken parm or some pizza or something. You guys have a cheat meal, right? You guys probably do get cheat days, I would
come on.
assume.
What do you-
Yeah,
Do
so
you guys just throw down? What's going on?
so our diet is super strict 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Because basically what we're trying to do is, and we're working with the greatest dietitian for strength in the world, Nathan Payton, but he keeps us extremely insulin sensitive, which means we get basically the minimum amount of carbs that we need to function on a daily basis, unless we're training, so that when we do get those carbs, our body uses them to the maximum potential. So we stay insulin sensitive so that when we get the carbs, we can use them.
These cheat meals when we get these cheat meals, when we get to working out, it's like the greatest pre-workout you can ever have. Like
really,
it's like I don't even think you drink caffeine.
I don't even drink pre-workout anymore because when I finally get carbs, my body's like, whoa, it like lights itself on fire. I start sweating. I got all the energy I could ever want. Yeah.
So you guys will have a cheat meal and then go to the gym?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's called the targeted cheat meal. Target cheat meal. Yeah. We'll have depending on.
Give me an example.
What's
what would
that?
that be?
For lately, just for convenience, it's Whataburger and it's a triple, and fries and a cookie and a large Dr Pepper.
Yeah.
And that's just to set me right for training.
Wow.
It just
sets you right for training.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one meal.
No,
out of
do you ever
6.
get into the shakes?
Saturday night we get our, because we're still big dudes. At the end of the day, I'm not a bodybuilder, so I'm not going to be, chicken and rice and broccoli all the time. Saturday night's my night to go out, take the wife out. We'll go have something good. That's the time where it's like you can have whatever you want, have a dessert, go out and eat. So we still get our like good food. It's not just like crazy strict all the time. But that's also the motivation for it too, because I want to be able to go into training and use that food for fuel.
Right.
Yeah.
How do speaking of going out in public, we were talking about Fiesta. when things happen in public, I mean, how difficult is it running into an ex?
It happens. It happens to all of
seriously,
us.
because there's a lot of just jerks out there.
Yeah.
How do you guys stay meek? How do you keep your strength under control and not go off on somebody?
We're both humble dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both. I mean, it takes a lot to get us kind of riled up.
Yeah.
But
First of all, the other thing too, we have a lot to lose.
yeah,
I'm not gonna waste my time on someone that we spend how many hours at the gym?
yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna get in trouble because of some dude saying something. And that's happened to me my whole life. I've always been a big kid. I walked out of high school, I was 300 pounds. Like, I've always been a big dude, and so I've always had the guys, and then I played offensive line, so like I've always been the guy that, I'm the protector, or keep it cool, because it's always like, what do I tell you? It's never the first punch I see, it's the second punch. So they're gonna throw a flag on you, or two, you're a big guy, you get beat up by a little guy, and then you just got your butt kicked by a little guy. If you beat up a little guy and then you just beat up a little guy, you're always the bad guy no matter what.
No matter which way.
So like in those situations, we really don't have the time, honestly, that we're out and about to where we're dealing with people like that. But also at the end of the day, I'm not going to waste my time on this, because we spend too much time training
for
and
this,
just-
right?
Yeah,
To
like
throw it all
developing
out
our
like
bodies.
that,
Yeah, because
yeah.
even if something little happens, it'll affect training for weeks. Like, because we have to be perfectly functional to do these kind of weights.
And like you guys are like pulling trucks as well too. We got
Yeah,
that picture of you guys
we're
pulling
doing
it.
it. We
pulling
pulled
a
fire
truck.
trucks. We pulled
I think we got it.
heavy equipment.
A helmet? Have you ever seen those? with
Yeah,
the
heavy
military?
equipment. Army truck. It's like a 16-wheeler, a 60,000-pound truck.
And you guys are like
it's
roped
harnessed
up.
and you're
Yeah,
walking.
so you harness, and then we get a lead rope. So we pull and we're stepping into it at the same time.
Wow.
There's videos on Instagram somewhere.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
But yeah, back to the self-defense stuff too. Like, it's never the guy. Like the guy. Yes, that's the helmet. That's the helmet, and that's me when I was like halfway small.
That was almost 4 years ago, I think.
Yep.
But yeah.
So people, like, it's a common theme where rational people won't mess with us just purely based on size and appearance.
Sure.
The people who do mess with us are the crazy ones. You know what I mean? Because they don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care. They're like, I don't care how big you are. Like, so either they're insane or they're well equipped.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or a combo. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's usually never a good idea for us to get into all that.
I was telling a good buddy of mine, I said what we were going to do today, and I was going to meet a couple of the strongmen in the world. And he goes, bro, I grew up watching them. He goes, I swear I love it. And he goes, one of my heroes was Magnus Vermagnus.
Yeah, Maggie.
man.
Isn't he
Maggie.
still involved?
He's still involved. He's the head judge. He's the head
Is
judge.
that right?
Yep.
Is it cool, dude?
Good buddy
He's
for
great,
me.
yeah.
And see, because to me, I've always he's from Iceland and all these, like Norway.
I was
and-
going to ask about this community
These
because a
guys are
lot of
just
these guys are
huge.
from all over the world. I mean, they emerged from like the woods, and they're just like
Just walking
seriously
out of the
strong
mountains,
dudes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting brotherhood.
Okay, so like,
Yeah.
where are some of your like some close connections you guys have made with other people from the world?
So I've actually competed internationally. Well, you've had international, but I've actually competed twice across the pond one in Portugal for World Strongest Latino, and then I competed in Wales one time. And you're gonna get guys from South Africa. I don't think anyone from Asia yet.
So you can deadlift in Spanish? That's incredible.
That's the only way I deadlift.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm bilingual.
Like what could be like bi?
Bilingual. Trilingual.
You got a little way to go. Yeah.
But no, mainly it's Europe that we compete against.
Yeah, the Asia has kind of their own circuit.
Okay.
They don't have a ton of people that cross over, but we get a lot of Russians. We have a lot of
Ukrainians.
Yeah, Ukrainians, Europeans.
Is there one country you say, uh-oh? Like
Canadians.
Canadians
Really?
are the bad news?
There's a
Really?
whole crop of Canadians that are just
I
unbelievable.
thought that, right? I
Well,
would have thought Ukraine.
just
Well,
like-
they train
they
all
just, like,
winter.
pounding
They
maple syrup or
hibernate and
something?
train
What's
all
going
winter.
on? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
they've
get
got
snowed
nothing else to
in
do?
and they
Okay.
train all winter and they come out and they
the
just
axe.
compete. Yeah.
Welcome to spring.
They're dogs,
Yeah,
man. They're dogs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wrestling.
They're good dudes too. That's
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
fun about them. They're they're the boys. So when we go out compete, and then they compete all summer long too. Like they have so many shows that they do during summer. So like they're just so experienced in competing that like just showing up to a show is like another thing to them, and they just have that camaraderie because they're always and then we've kind of got welcomed into that group, and they're boys, man, and they're fun to compete.
You guys ever
against.
like go out and have beers together with them or anything like that?
Yeah, I
or
mean,
is
we'll
it-
go out after.
Yeah.
After
That's
show's
cool.
done,
I bet
we'll
you
go
that's
hang
when
out.
the strongman get together with a couple
Right? When they walk in,
lagers. I mean, they
Table for
probably
eight.
is that.
It's weird too because like, especially at least I noticed that with me. But like our metabolism is so high that like we'll even after like a sip. Like I won the Arnold Amateur last year. I went and I had a sip of an old fashioned. One sip, I was drunk.
No way.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been the
One
opposite
sip.
One
I
sip.
thought the
direction.
same.
Well, because
One
we
sip.
never
We never drink.
Yeah?
Yeah, we never drink,
drink.
never smoke. Like we take it super serious. But
Right.
it was like one sip. I hadn't even gotten to the bottom of the ice cube.
And you
I
couldn't
was-
even
I was-
drive.
I
You
was
were
like,
like,
oh my
Pull in the
goodness.
china shop there. Yeah.
Well, because especially during competition day, we're not really eating very much. Like it's just little tiny snacks to keep our blood sugar up. So I had no food. I hadn't had a drink in 6 months. My metabolism's super high, so I got drunk off one sip and then it was gone in 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, tell me, how can we watch you guys in Sacramento? How can we be cheering for you? This
So-
competition's coming up again when?
So the competition's gonna be in 2.5 weeks. We'll
Okay.
compete. CBS will air it towards the end of
August. Usually.
August or end of July. That's what they did last year. And
So right here on Ken's 5.
Huh?
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Ken's 5.
Yeah, I was on it
out
last
at the
year.
gym. I was out at the gym with him last night. Well, I think we got some footage. Look
I
at
was.
this.
You really?
Nick was picking up this like bell cow kind of
Circus
Okay.
dumbbell. Circus
I was
dumbbell.
like, dude, how heavy is this thing?
So that is 150 pounds empty.
Look at you, Nate. All right.
I got it
That's
off the
called
ground.
that's called a circus dumbbell, and you can add more plates into
Not
it.
And then look at this,
Deadlift it.
just
Look.
just full send.
Yes.
All right, cool. Ball up top.
And you're just holding it like it's a phone receiver. Somebody's
Yeah.
on the line.
I know, but yeah, look, what's that? Too?
So that's a log. So
We're
usually
just setting up right here. That's not even a lift.
Yeah.
We're just putting it out.
just putting the equipment.
No, I
on,
got
yeah.
I got some.
How much does that weigh?
That's 150 pounds empty, but we loaded that up to about 330 last night.
And I think there's one more. I think I got some action shots here, you guys too, doing some heavy metal, man. Just a temple of badassery in there, man.
I bet, man. I
That
bet.
face.
Here, this is like kind of the simulation of the quick kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
So yeah, this will be what we're doing here. in
Guys,
Sacramento.
what's the end game here? I mean, how long do you want to do this? What do you want to do after? Do you want to coach people? Do you want to?
That's my full-time job right now is coaching.
Okay.
Yeah, so coaching and competing is my full-time job. I mean, the end game is just leave a legacy. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to go until it's not fun anymore.
Right.
You know?
And I like how you said it. You say strength is got to be a part of everybody's life. Why
Everybody.
is it important?
Yeah. I mean, whether you're
You gotta get out of bed.
whether you're 6 years old and we got the Tim Ingram's son. He was pushing the sled yesterday.
Yeah.
He loves lifting, and I feel like it's a big part of developing your character as a child. Or if you're 90 years old and you're just still trying to stay mobile, strength and movement and mobility is just a huge part of what being a human being is. and it's huge. It's like the most basic.
Yeah.
It's the most basic necessity of life.
Nick and Austin, guys, thanks so much for rolling
Yeah,
in.
Thank you guys very much for having us.
And
Best
go
of
get the
luck in a
hardware,
couple
man.
weeks. Go
get the
bring it
hardware.
back, man.
Sure.
Flex
try our
on
best.
them, Alamo City style.
Hey,
Yeah.
one thing we can't promise you is we're going to give 100%.
Come on.
We're not going to leave anything on the field.
And then you take my buddy here in the gym with you.
Yeah, if you guys,
We'll
want
bulk
some
him up.
tips.
Just
Hell
hit him with the Pilates.
Hey,
or
the
something.
next reigning 3 is going to be 300 pounds. That's what the 3 is going to stand for.
Awesome.
That was so good, guys.
Thank
that
you,
was
guys.
so good.
That was easy.